So there have been so many rumors and leaks about what's going to be happening with the iPhone Plus series. And there's been a very interesting rumor that Apple is going to be transitioning away from the iPhone Plus series with their iPhone 17 series, which is going to be coming around next year. And they're going to be removing it for the iPhone Slim lineup, which is going to be interesting. But that got me thinking, why did nobody really buy the iPhone Plus lineup in general? Why was the Plus lineup pretty much just brought in as almost like a placeholder? And specifically with the iPhone 14 Plus, if you all remember how weird of an iPhone lineup this was, it was a good iPhone, don't get me wrong, but there's a reason why nobody really bought the Plus lineup iPhones in general. And to start off with, it was the price tag. I think $899 for this type of iPhone, I think was significantly overpriced, and I think this was the number one turnoff for a lot of people. I think if somebody's going to go inside of the Apple Store and they're going to see that the iPhone 14 to the left of them is $799. The iPhone 14 Pro on the right of them was $999. And you had this mid-tier iPhone that was $899. Well, why would you even want to go for that, mid-tier iPhone when you can just spend a little bit more money and get the iPhone 14 Pro? That series, that year in particular, there were massive differences between the 14 series and the Pro series. So you were getting not only ProMotion displays that we've seen before, but you were also getting significantly better cameras. And that was the first time in a long time, I think really the only time at that moment, where Apple put in its actual chipset difference from the standard models to the more expensive models. Sometimes it was just RAM like we saw with the 13 Pro and the 12 Pro, but this time they actually threw in a really big difference, which was that chipset. Having last year's chipset was, I think, a pretty big difference there. And that in and of itself, I think, was another reason why both the 14 and 14 Plus didn't sell that well, but I think that was a reason why the 14 Pro sold very well. Another thing, I think Apple actually wanted people to go ahead and not really buy the 14 Plus and rather go up and buy something like the iPhone 14 Pro. When you look at the iPhone 14 Pro, that is a significantly bigger difference. But when you're looking at the 14 and 14 Pro, $799 compared to $999, that's a pretty big difference. But if you're starting with the iPhone 14 and you're like, should I get the 14 or 14 Plus? I mean, there's only a $100 difference, right? Well, then if you go for the 14 Plus, you're not looking at the 14 Plus and the 14 Pro, and there's only a $100 difference there too. So you might as well get the 14 Pro. And I think that's exactly what Apple wanted. I call this, I don't know if this is used in marketing or business school, but the laddered approach. You start a consumer in one side and you work their way up into buying something more expensive. And if you look at the 14 Pro sales numbers, Apple sold those. I mean, there were so many people who bought the iPhone 14 Pros. So I think it was strategic for Apple, and they really didn't want people buying the Plus series. They wanted that to be a stopgap or a ladder for people to go and buy the Pro series, and it worked out pretty well for them that year. So that pretty much covers it up here. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.